When the Brooklyn Nets traded Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns last week in exchange for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and picks, some outsiders were quick to say Brooklyn sold low on KD because of the players they got back. There were plenty of people referring to Mikal and Cam as just good role players. However, Mikal Bridges is seemingly much more than a role player. He's been one of the best defenders in the league for a while now, even finishing second in Defensive Player of the Year voting last season. Where the shift has come is on the offensive end, where he's shown a new ability to be a team's primary offensive option, displayed by his career-high 45 points against the Heat last night. A lot of this scoring came with either Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo as the primary defender, and he was cooking anyway. This dude is a lot better than any of us thought. With the defense he offers, if he can continue to stay a lethal offensive option like he's been, he can be a similar player to someone like Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. To truly understand how good the man now known as Brooklyn Bridges can be, let's look at his career so far and his recent play. Before we get into the rapid improvement of Mikal Bridges, if you enjoy my content and have watched a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. Let's look at some of his career stats before we dive into Mikal's recent surge. He has been a rotation player ever since he came into the league, averaging 29 minutes a night as a rookie. In his first year in Phoenix, he put up 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals per game. Surprisingly enough, his rookie season is actually his career-high steals per game number to this point. He wasn't much of a piece offensively, but his hard work on the defensive end, on top of the Suns not being very good, led to a lot of minutes for him. He only shot 34% from 3 in his rookie season. Now let's jump forward to his fourth season, which would be his last full one in Phoenix. He averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal per game, while being the Defensive Player of the Year runner-up. He also shot 37% from 3 on 4 attempts, so he'd clearly worked on that aspect of his game. Despite his improved jumper and elite defense, most people still didn't see star potential in him. That could be because no one expected the level of opportunity he's been given, or people could have just doubted him. However, by the end of his fourth season, he'd established himself as one of the league's best defenders and an extremely important piece to a team with championship aspirations. Now let's take a look at this season. I'd say it's been the best overall season of his career so far. For the year, he's averaging 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal per game, while shooting 39% from 3 on 5 attempts. However, I don't think that really tells the full story. In his last 2 weeks with Phoenix, we saw Bridges take an offensive responsibility that we hadn't seen before, due to Devin Booker missing time with injury. During this span, he averaged 23 points per game with a couple of 30 pieces. He looked as confident as ever, and this stretch likely was the main reason the Nets were willing to pull the trigger on this KD trade, because they believed the player coming back to them had more upside than anyone had seen, that he could legitimately be a star. A couple of other teams were likely keen to this as well, as it's reported a team offered 4 first-round picks to Brooklyn for Bridges. They declined, and I'm glad they did. Now let's talk about his short run with Brooklyn so far. It's been a little up and down. In his first game with the team, he dropped 23 points and 6 rebounds. This had fans of the team hyped up and excited for his addition to the squad. This game got him the nickname Brooklyn Bridges, which I love. However, the next game was a stinker. 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting in 29 minutes. It was much less inspiring than the first game, and some of the talk around him quieted down. But that must have motivated him, as he exploded last night, having easily the best game of his career. The stat line is absolutely absurd. 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He was a menace on both sides of the ball, seemingly scoring at will, even though he was being defended by 2 All-NBA caliber defenders in Butler and Bam, and he was causing havoc on the other side as well with the 2 steals and 2 blocks. Let's just say the talk about him has quietly, not so quietly maybe, picked back up, as he was trending very high on Twitter during and after the game. It was an extremely impressive outing with 17 of his 45 coming in the fourth quarter alone, which led the team to a gutsy win over the Miami Heat to cushion their lead over them in the Eastern Conference standings. For most of his career, Mikal Bridges has been an afterthought, known as a great defender, but thought of as having little upside to be more than that. but he is looking like a future star for the Brooklyn Nets. One of the rare breed of two-way stars like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. Will he ever quite reach the offensive excellence of those guys? Who knows? But he's already there defensively. If he can reach that offensive ceiling, he'll legitimately be a perennial all-star and all-NBA player, and he's still just 26 years old. This is great for the Brooklyn Nets, as Bridges, Claxton, and young guard Cam Thomas all look to have potential all-star upside. Many thought the team lacked a star after the deadline, but it seems maybe they just have a few in the waiting. Mikal Bridges is awesome, and the Brooklyn Nets are one of the most fun watches in the league again. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.